Many thanks for joining us on News Now. I am Annetta Felix. The federal government says it's negotiating with Boko Haram to secure the release of 6 aid workers recently abducted by the terrorist sect in Borno State. Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, said this in a series of tweets sent out on Friday. Shehu was reacting to a video where a woman identified as Grace pleaded with the federal government to secure her release and that of her colleagues. The abducted individuals are staff of non-governmental organization Action Against Hunger. Shehu, in his tweet, said the presidency is aware of the video and is interacting with the abductors. He further explained that the engagement also covered the release of Leah Sharibu, the abducted Dapchi schoolgirl who Grace claims to have been killed by the terrorist. Meanwhile, 2 people have been reported killed after a motorcycle-riding Boko Haram insurgents attacked a camp for internally displaced persons in Maiduguri, the Borno state capital. The Lori IDP camp came under attack at midnight when insurgents broke into the premises through the back perimeter fence. A commander of the Civilian Joint Task Force, Abba Aji, confirmed the attack, saying the gunmen first attacked the soldiers' station near the camp before they moved in, shooting sporadically. Aji also confirmed that a little child and an old man were killed in the attack. The police and the military are however yet to issue statements about the incident. Dalori, about 15 kilometers from the regional capital, Maiduguri, houses about 50,000 people. The Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu, has ordered operatives of the force to beef up security in all states of the Federation, including the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. In a statement, the force spokesperson, Frank Umba, said the order was due to the series of what he described as violent protests by the Islamic movement in Nigeria, IMAN, popularly known as Shiites. Umba said proactive measures, including aerial surveillance of major cities, have been put in place to ensure the safety and security of lives and properties. The statement added that all state zonal police heads have been directed to checkmate the activities of criminals and any possible threats to public peace. The police boss, however, warned protesters not to breach public peace while going about their demonstrations. Meanwhile, the Islamic movement of Nigeria, IMAN, says 3 of its members have died in police custody. In a statement, spokesperson for the group, Ibrahim Musa, said the detainees died from their injuries after they were refused access to medical attention. This is coming days after the group alleged that over 100 of its members who sustained injuries during Monday's protest were arrested by the police from their sickbeds. Protesting members of the sect on Monday and Tuesday clashed with operatives of the Nigerian police force in Abuja. No fewer than 19 people were killed in the clash, while dozens of others sustained various degrees of injuries. In recent time, there have been rising cases of human rights abuses and reckless killings levied against the Nigerian police. This had prompted a national outcry to outlaw an arm of the police Special Anti-Robbery Squad, SARS. In this next report, we find out how the recent activities have been affecting the police-citizen relationship in Nigeria.
The police say they're a friend, but many Nigerians don't think so. From bus drivers to businessmen, the perception is that of a police force with a damaged reputation. And this perception is founded on personal experience dealing with the police. Eunice Osas, a student of the Yaba College of Technology, is one of those who shares that perception.
When I'm in a place, I'm walking by the road and I see police around, I feel like, okay, I need to leave this place fast before something goes wrong. I feel like something is going to go wrong, definitely. Like there's always a problem. Then when you see a policeman with a weapon, with a gun or something, yes, you feel like, do they even know how to handle these weapons well? Because we hear different cases of stray bullets, bullets meeting the wrong person and stuff like that. So I don't feel safe around the police at all. I feel the police is not my friend.
A 2019 survey conducted by the Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, SERAP, ranks the police as the most corrupt institution in Nigeria. Sergeant John Doe, not his real name, has been in the police force for over 15 years. He says poor working conditions are partly to blame.
Can you explain the constable is sergeant? maybe my child now goes to private school where they paid maybe 50,000 just a time. How much is my salary? I earn 60,000 a month. For example, married with 3 kids or 4 kids, to pay school fees and pay house rent. How much do you expect me to take home? And you send such a fellow or a police officer on assignment. How do you expect him to deliver? Every day, there are some DPOs, there are some officers are collecting return like 10,000, 5,000. Whether you have the money or not, they will force you to get the money. Now, for those who doesn't have the fear of God, they can undo for them to have that return, for them not to post there in anywhere, in any bad place. For example, station guard. In station guard, now they cannot get anything. Just open the gate and close the gate.
But Eunice says while the government needs to do more for the police, poor working conditions should not justify corruption.
To me, it's not an excuse if you are not being paid well, because you went there yourself, you want to be a police and stuff. And I feel the government should also work on that. They should pay people, they should pay their staffs well. How will you put someone in a job to protect the country and you're not paying them well? You don't expect them to do the right thing when they are not being paid well, because they themselves, they are not happy.
Retired military officer and security expert Hassan Stanlabo says the solution lies with the government and the leadership of the police.
If the Nigerian police is that corrupt, look up. Clear the top. Pick serious hands from the bottom who mean business and who understands what we need now to run the police for you. Give him 3 months, the entire police force is changed. Because before 3 months, he must have dismissed nearly over 200 policemen. Everybody will sit up and know that times have changed.
The negative perception of the Nigerian police is a far cry from what it was intended to be when the force was established in 1930. Funding is indeed a big challenge for the institution. The yearly police budget is hardly enough to address the challenges the force faces. It's for this reason that President Muhammadu Buhari recently signed the Police Trust Fund Bill into law to better fund the police. But operatives like Doe would have to make do with the situation of things now until the new law brings about a change. Anessa Felix, TV360, Nigeria.
Former Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, has explained why some individuals remain in custody despite being granted bail by competent courts of jurisdiction. Appearing before the Senate for screening, Malami, who was recently reappointed to serve in the cabinet of President Muhammadu Buhari, was asked why some people remain in custody despite being granted bail. In response, he said the office of the AGF has the responsibility to always uphold the interests of the public. He said, quote, when an individual's interests conflict with the public interest will naturally prevail, end of quote. Malami also briefed the lawmakers on his achievements as AGF and his future plans for the country. Center for Citizens with Disabilities, CCD, have rejected the 43-man ministerial list released by President Muhammadu Buhari over the exclusion of persons with disabilities. At a press briefing in Abuja, the executive director of the center, David Ayele, urged the president to appoint at least 3 persons with disabilities in his cabinet. The group says failure to accede to their demands will determine their next line of action.
The major purpose of bringing all of us here is this neglect, this exclusion, this undermining of a legislation that was just recently passed, just about 5 months ago, by President Muhammadu Buhari, by disregarding the provisions in Section 29 of the Discrimination Against Persons with Provision Act, which provides that 5% employment opportunity should be set aside by all employers of labor, including the office of the president. Therefore, I reiterate again, we call on President Muhammadu Buhari to send at least 3 names of competent persons with disabilities as part of ministerial nominees for screening at the National Assembly, so as to fulfill the obligation as provided in Section 29 of the Discrimination Against Persons with Disability Prohibition Act. This is the first time we are demanding or asking the government to implement the act. And this is the first time we observe, disregard of provisions of the Disability Act. We are going to monitor the pattern. It is the pattern of either disregard or implementation that is going to determine our next plan of action. This is our first observation, and that is why we are flagging it as early as possible, so as not to allow it to deteriorate to the extent that we will use other legal measures to bring them to account.
The West African Examination Council has released the results for the 2019 May-June West African Senior School Certificate Examination. The council says candidates who sat for the examination this year performed much better than those who wrote in 2018. Abisola Adebayo now reports.
Candidates who sat for the May-June WAEC examination can now check their results online. At this press briefing, head of the council national office in Lagos, Olu Adenipekun, made the announcement. He says the results of 92% of the over 1.8 million candidates who sat for the examination has been released.
I am happy to announce that the results of candidates that sat the WAS for School Candidate 2019 in Nigeria have been released. A total of 1,596,161 candidates registered for the examination from 18,639 recognized schools in Nigeria. Of the total number of candidates that sat the examination in Nigeria, 1,468,071 candidates, representing 92.32%, have their result fully processed and released, while 132,102 candidates, representing 7.68%, have a few of their subjects still being processed. Efforts are, however, being made to speedily complete the processing, and all the affected candidates will get their result fully processed and released subsequently.
A total of 64.18% of candidates who sat for the exam obtained credit and above in a minimum of 5 subjects, including mathematics and English. Olanipekun says this is an improvement compared to the 49.98% figure reported last year.
A total of 1,020,519 candidates, representing 64.18%, obtained credits and above a minimum of 5 subjects, including English language and mathematics. Of this number, 507,862 candidates, that is 49.77%, were male candidates, and 512,657, that is 50.23%, were female candidates. The percentage of candidates in this category in the WAS for School Candidates 2018 was 50%.
The West African Examination Council also announced that the result of 180,205 candidates were withheld on suspicion of examination malpractice.
The result of 180,250 candidates, representing 11.33% of the total number of candidates that sat the examination, are being withheld in connection with various reported cases of examination malpractice. The cases are being investigated, and the reports of the investigations will be presented to the appropriate committee of the council in due course.
WAEC also announced that certificates will be issued to successful candidates in the next 90 days. These results announced by the Examination Council represent a 14.2% improvement when compared to what was obtained in 2018. Abisola Adebayo, TV360 Lagos.
Teachers in Lagos State are calling on the federal and state governments to implement policies to improve on the quality of education in Nigeria. Speaking at a seminar in Lagos, Deputy Director of Educational District 3, Adeyemi Adebayo, called on the government to review the requirements for in education as a course in tertiary institutions. He decried the low cut-off marks required for entrance into education courses as against higher ones required for other courses in JAMB and post-UTME. Another teacher at the event, Morenike Tejuade, says there is a need for the government to invest in training and retraining of teachers and to improve on the facilities in tertiary institutions so as to properly nurture Nigeria's future leaders.
I expect the Lagos State government, one, to look at the teacher training institutions in Lagos. What are the qualification requirements in those universities? You are aware recently that the UTME result was out, and a cutoff in some universities range from 350 to 250 or 200 for some courses. But I am not happy to tell you that the cutoff mark for education, teachers, people that will provide guidance to children, is lowered below 200. That is not good. It's not good enough. It's not acceptable. We need not to force people into studying education. If government wants to really improve education in Lagos, there is a need for the government to sit down with our teacher training institutions to review the cutoff marks for people wanting to study education.
If we want education to develop, if we want growth in education, we must partner with government. Government must partner with stakeholders. It is important. Our problem is lack of training of our teachers. Our problem is lack of facilities. We have teachers who are even better than teachers in any other parts of the world. But the facilities they need to be able to put our children in the right path are not available. The infrastructure they need is not available. So when we even talk about curriculum, have we actually implemented that curriculum to the letter? Because you find that in most cases they teach theory. The practical aspect that we make the students understand the theory more, there is no facility.
More women should pursue a career in engineering. Engineer Felicia Agubata, president of the Association of Professional Women Engineers in Nigeria, APWEN, said this at a boot camp in Lagos on Friday. The association embarked on a two-day boot camp with female students in Lagos to introduce girls to the engineering field. Participating students were given practical-based sessions to ignite their imagination around engineering with the aim of increasing the number of girls studying math, science, and considering STEM careers.
The idea is at junior secondary school levels, they don't have career choices yet. That is when they do all general subjects. By the time they get to SS1, it's either they are in the arts class or in science classes. Almost virtually 70% said they are going to read engineering just for being here for just 2 days. This is the third day. They were taking around engineering things, building up bridges using everyday things like popsicles, glue. These are the things that they use every day in the homes. They never knew they can use this to build a bridge. And also teaching them how to construct triangles. That is the genesis of demystifying mathematics. Make them to know that they can actually construct triangles without a protractor.
The aim of this is to have more girls, catch them young, to have them know about engineering, to have them know about the opportunity of taking up a career in STEM. And I'm so happy about this edition because it has more of public school students who would not be able to afford the opportunity of getting such an experience.
We don't have enough girls participating in the engineering profession. And up to now, maybe we are still less than 10% of the total population of engineers in Nigeria. So when we organize these events, it is actually to encourage young girls to study science, and mathematics. The association cannot cover all the schools, but you will realize that the different ministries of education in the states and at the federal level have science and mathematics in their curriculum. The curriculum will be upgraded from time to time because the rest of the world that we are competing with are improving all the time.
We'll take a break here and we'll be right back.
So, now, straight to business. Now, that case between State versus Femi Wale.
Femi Wale?
Yes.
Is he your son?
That's my heir apparent.
Did he actually kill the wife?
His juvenile delinquency, they must have taken some few bottles.
A man of 40. Juvenile delinquent?
Now, what do we do? I don't want him to go to jail.
We are very good friends. But for this, I cannot help you.
You know I was so nice to you in school. I took care of you.
I'll politely leave.
No, you can't leave. How much do you want me to pay?
Wale, this is not about money. It's about the law. Bribing a judge to subvert the cause of justice is corruption. Not in my country.
Corruption not in my country.
Stop corruption now.
You're welcome back, and we have Fidelia Aguncha for the latest business stories. Hello, Fidelia.
Hi, Aneta.
So I see that states in Nigeria has received their federal allocation for the month. Just how much did they get last month?
Well, the federal, state, and local government shared 762.5 billion naira as federal allocation for the month of June. Accountant General of the Federation, Ahmed Idris, revealed this at the end of the Federation Accounts Allocation Committee meeting held in Abuja. He said the gross statutory revenue of 652.9 billion naira received for the month was higher than the 571.7 billion naira received in May by 81.21 billion naira. He added that revenue from the petroleum profit tax and companies' income tax increased significantly, while value-added tax increased marginally and royalties, import and excise duties decreased considerably. On the sharing formula, he said the federal government received 309.4 billion naira, representing 52.68%, while states received 201.15 billion naira, representing 26.72%. The AGF said that local government areas received 151.3 billion naira, representing 20.60%. And at 2.158 trillion naira, currency in circulation in Nigeria on month-on-month basis rose by 0.3% at the end of April 2019. Now, this is according to the Central Bank of Nigeria. The Apex Bank said this in its first quarter report on currency in circulation and deposits. Well, this was in contrast to the respective decline of 3.9% and 4% at the end of the preceding month and the end of the corresponding period of 2018. Meanwhile, deposits of the federal government with the CBN on month-on-month basis increased by 12.8% to 15.75 trillion naira at the end of April. Reserve money also rose by 9.7% to 7.948 trillion naira at the end of April. Well, up next will be a review of activities on the stock market after this break. Don't go away. Welcome back. Trading at the Nigeria equities market closed the week negative with a combined drop of 1.21%, and that's from 4 days of loss. But the interesting thing is a 1.21% gain seen on Tuesday makes up for all the loss, meaning the market narrowly escaped closing in a stalemate. Now, when compared to how the market closed on Friday, the all-share index is dropping by just 1 basis point, while the market capitalization, which began the week at 13,606,586 million, dropped by about 300 million naira to close at about the same point. Well, largely influencing today's drop is Seplat, whose share price is falling by 35 naira, and this is despite a rise in global oil prices. It is closely followed by Okumu Oil Palm with a 6.8% drop in value. It was also a negative day for international burrs right here, and Dangote Cement, both declining by a combined 2 naira 3 kobo. Meanwhile, on the flip side, and that's the gainers chart, the gainers list is led by telecommunications giant MTN Nigeria, following a 2 naira boost in its share price. Forte Oil comes in second with a 5 kobo change in its share value, while Oando and MPF Microfinance Bank had a combined gain of less than 3 kobo. Well, let's now look at the market summary for today. Over 130 million shares worth 2.6 billion naira exchange hands in 2,749 deals. Now, that's a drop in volume and number of deals when compared to what was posted on Thursday. Well, let's now move outside Nigeria, which is the foreign scene. The Dow and FTSE made a U-turn, returning to the positive territory, which is different from what we have been seeing in the past 3 days. And it seems the Nikkei switched places with the Dow and FTSE. As we can see, it's dropping by 0.45% at the close of trading this week. Well, that is from the world of business. Annetta Felix will continue with the rest of the news.
Yes, thanks for that update, Fidelia. Moving on, about 115 people are missing and feared to have drowned after a wooden boat carrying migrants capsized off the Libyan coast on Thursday. Libyan Navy confirmed that there were about 250 people on board when the boat capsized off the coast near Comas, east of Tripoli. The migrants are mainly from Eritrea, Sub-Saharan Africa and Arab countries. Meanwhile, about 134 others have been rescued by Libyan coast guards and local fishermen. According to UNHCR spokesman Charlie Yaxley, this takes the death toll of the Mediterranean migrants to over 600 this year. The 2019 FIFA Club World Cup will begin on December 11, 2019. The football governing body announced this on Friday. The tournament, which will be held in Qatar, will be played in its current format, featuring 7 teams and will consist of 8 matches. FIFA media channel says the draw will determine the pairings for the second round matches, while the semi-finals will take place at the home of FIFA in Zurich on September 16. According to FIFA, 3 participants have already been confirmed from North and South America, while those from CAF, AFC and CONMEBOL will be known in the coming months. And that's all the news now today. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.